the big controversy of the week was me sending Francis home.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm thinking that people are like forgetting that we're playing a game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like
Totally.
what do you feel about it?
No, 100%. I think it's like, first of all, it's a reality TV competition show where you are trying to be the last one at the end. And you don't get to that spot without lying, deceiving people. Like, you can't just be nice to everybody. You'll get sent home. Like, it's like, you also can't tell everybody, like, there are alliances for a reason. If everyone was supposed to be nice to each other, everyone would have an alliance with everybody, and it'd be like a big hand holding. Like, I don't know
It would be the most boring show of all time.
Yeah, like, it's the whole point of the show is to play a game that gets you to the end, and your peers say, like, wow, you know, they pulled some moves, but like they played the game. Like, it's like you there's a respect for the game, you know?
Well, yeah, and
that's what I'm saying. I feel like people don't understand what that
I feel like
respect for the game maybe is like. I know there's a lot of there's controversy over Jeff D. And his explanation, and people think Francis got screwed over because of that. Regardless, you guys were sending Francis home.
Was going home no matter what.
Yeah.
So Francis was going home no matter what.
Yeah.
It was more just a matter of fact if Dave gets that idol. But I kind of want to give like a background as to why I sent Francis home, because I feel like people are like, why'd you do that to Francis? Why'd you do that to Francis? Well, in this episode, you're seeing that Francis and Roan want to send Dave home. I think it's been made pretty clear that at this point, Dave is my number one alliance with Big Cat as well. And Roan tells Big Cat that he wants to send Dave home, and Francis tells me he wants to send Dave home. And then, well, we're like, okay, well, Dave is our number one alliance. We need to protect our alliance right now, which means now we have to send them home. Because if it's Dave, then it's us next. You know what I mean? They're going to go down the line of the alliance. So as soon as Francis, you know, came to me and was like, well, I want to get like, what about Dave? And I explained to him my thought process at that time was, well, I don't think he can, like, I don't see Dave as a threat. But in my head, I see Francis as a threat. So now we're like, all right, well, we gotta protect our strong alliance at this point, and because then you're next. Like, if you don't make those moves, they'll get you eventually. Like, that's what the game is. It's kind of like, and Rico said it in the show. He's like, kill or be killed. Like, there's like, that's kind of. But I think that it kind of
right. Also, like, beginning of the episode, Rico talking to you guys is like. So you get Francis flush the idol. Yeah. So it's like, it's obviously, it's not like, that just goes to show that that's like a move that
and we're standing
is possible to make.
And we're standing in line, and Francis, you know, says something to me about his idol, and I'm like, yeah, don't waste it. Don't waste it. Because what am I going to tell him, to play it?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I'm flipping on Dave and Dan. Then I'm flipping on that alliance, which is my strongest alliance. So I told Francis, don't waste it. And what did he do? He did not play it.
Yeah.
And that screwed him over. And that's just the name of the game.
At the end of the day, like, Francis just, like, that's the name of the game. Like, Francis chose to believe what you were saying to him, and he shouldn't have.
Yeah, but it like, I think sometimes it gets split into like an audience who like watches Survivor and watches reality TV shows and like understands reality TV, and then another audience where maybe they're just like a fan of Barstool or a fan of this show, and they watch and they see people like lying to each other and backstabbing, whatever, and they get like really upset. But it's like, everyone signed up to play the same game. You know, like, everyone who signed up to play the game knew what the game was and knew kind of like what you had to do. So it just the response, you know, I had girls DM me, and I'm confused because they're like a girl DM me something along the lines of like, what you did to Francis, like, you matched the shady energy of the guys on the show, and like, you're smarter than that, like, you don't need to be cruel. And it's like, there's 20 guys on the show and 4 girls.
Yeah.
Do you expect all the girls to just sit there and like not, you got to go even harder.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
It's like there's 20 guys there.
Right.
It's like you got to, you know.
And I feel like also because right now your tribe is losing challenges, so it's like you are being put in the spotlight of having to make decisions when it's like there are only so many girls. Like if it was flipped and it was the other tribe, like Megan and Kelly would be having this issue too. Like it's like, who do they believe? Like they would be trying to get out the guys also, and because that's like that has to be done.
Right. And I think it just comes down to like when people see Dave like getting through and they get mad.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, this is my number one alliance at that time. I'm saying to Francis, hey, I don't, and you know, my belief is that he can't win, so I don't think we should get him out. And now we got to get Francis out to protect this alliance.
Right. You're riding on the belief that Dave like is a good block, like block almost.
Yeah, because they're even saying it. They're like,
not block. He's a shield for you.
Rhea's making all these moves, and everyone's getting mad at Dave.
Yeah.
So